Hey, it's that time. It's the time for the stream. There's no theme music right now. My iPad was not plugged in properly. Feminist Targaryen first in the room. Feminist Targaryen, you're the first in the room. You're the first in the room. You. I don't know. Okay. You're the first in the room. Peter Blades, you're the second in the room. She's the first in the room. She's a room firster. She's a room firster. That's my shitty Jerry Seinfeld impression. It's pretty bad. Peter Blades enters with 2 blades. How you doing, Peter Blades? How you doing, the feminist Targaryen? How's everything in your neck of the woods? Targaryen, I've been loving your posts for all time, but I've been loving your posts lately, especially in school. Fuck, school is good. And I think the American educational system is actually recovering a little bit, honestly. Later, dude. Hi, Unmaking You. Hi for coming here. My iPad's still starting up. Hey, XOXO519. Thank you so much. So this is the 4th week of the 2nd month? Is it? This is the 4th week of the 2nd month of our stream, I believe. I don't know. Hey, Amanda Grams with the nose. Hey, Kara. Or hey, Kara would be the better way of saying it. So this is our actual stream. It's 5:01. It's Monday. I'm here in New York. Let's play a little Wake Up by Arcade Fire while I smoke a little bit of weed. This is Arcade Fire, Wake Up. From whatever album this is from. Funeral. I've had a lot going through my head. A lot's been going on. Definitely thinking a lot about relationships lately. How is everyone? Hey, Ringo Vision. That's a good question, Amanda Barnes. Something. Holla, baby. Thank you for coming. So I'll turn this down a little bit. I've had a lot on my mind. I've been thinking about relationships. I've been thinking about jealousy. I've been thinking about what the nature of human sexuality is. I've been thinking about polyamory. I've been thinking about monogamy. I've been thinking about the Judeo-Christian origins of America and that underlie Western society and our traditions such as marriage and stuff like that, and how we fit into that, how our even want for a career is really part of this Western white male patriarchal Protestant idealism of what a life should be. You know, I want the white picket fence, and I want the house, and I want the kids, and I want the perfect job and the envious neighbors and the perfect life, because just like how North Koreans are brainwashed to believe that their leader is a manifestation of God, we're brainwashed to think that our dollar is a manifestation of God, and our work ethic is a manifestation of God, our country is a manifestation of God. It's not. We're just as brainwashed as the rest of everybody else. Nikki Parsons. I really like this song. I only have a few songs on in my iTunes account that I purchased with iTunes. I won't go through those now. I've got both Kill Bill Volume 1 and the Kill Bill Volume 2 soundtrack in full. I just want you to know. I purchased War Pigs, Luke's Wall by Black Sabbath, the single of that, Dazed and Confused, Led Zeppelin single, not the whole album, Bob Dylan's New Morning, not the whole album, How Deep Is Your Love, Saturday Night Fever, again, these are not whole albums here. See, Let Me Roll It, Paul McCartney here, but you know what I got right here? Whole Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, the whole one. Why does Gabe need the whole Kill Bill collection? You know why Gabe needs the whole Kill Bill collection, because Gabe's a murderer. S. Jones Boutique, thanks for coming back. It's so good to see you again. It's so good to see familiar names pop up.
He was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I...
Anyway, I'm a huge Kill Bill fan and a huge Uma Thurman fan, by the way of that. So here we are. This is our stream. It's a little bit of a janky start, but let's get back into the old format. Let's see what the trending stories are. No, let's look at the top stories. Maria forecast to intensify to Category 4 dangerous major hurricane. Completely fucking frightening, completely fucking scary. What's even scarier is like the idea that these storms are, I guess, normal. Normal in so many different ways. Normal in that these storms, these climate, these humongous, once in 2 century kind of climate events are now going to be the new normal that we have to deal with and sustain through. And that to some people who are even experiencing them, they're not abnormal. It's like, oh, this is reminiscent of what I've seen before. I remember a big storm back in 86, 84, and this is just like that. This is not like that. Maria, who the fuck is Maria? HIJKLM. When did we get to fucking Maria? Bloomberg News says there's some news that says Obama goes from White House to Wall Street in less than 1 year. In less than 1 year. What's that about? What's that about? Hillary Clinton says she made a mistake when she gave speeches on Wall Street after leaving government, taking money from banks. She writes in her new memoir. Oh my God! I hope there's a fucking Audible audiobook version of Hillary Clinton's book, cause I am fucking J-O-ing to that book. Cause to hear Hillary Clinton's fucking sassy granny voice, drag everybody, Bernie included, that's just got to be heaven. Oh my God, that's what everyone needed, I think, is a Hillary Clinton. I hope there's a Hillary Clinton audiobook. Anyway, her old boss doesn't seem to share her concern. Last month, just before her book What Happened was published, Barack Obama spoke in New York to clients of Northern Trust Corp for about $400,000. A person familiar with his appearance said. Last week, he reminisced about the White House for Carlyle Group LP, one of the world's biggest private equity firms, according to 2 people who were there. Next week, he'll give a keynote speech at investment bank Cantor Fitzgerald LP's healthcare conference. Hells yes, Hillary Clinton. Hill dog. I mean, damn, Hillary Clinton. Oh my God. So just like... I'm trying to think of just like people who are amazing in living. I gotta think Malala has got to be one of the most amazing people living. There's a Muslim activist I got turned on to. I think her name is Linda something. But I wrote about an activist called Linda Turner, but her name is Linda Sar something, and she wears a niqab, I believe, and people like hate her. And any woman that is like in power, that is on the liberal side, that has been on the Daily Show, that people hate, is someone you need to watch. So if you know her name, just throw that in there too. But yeah, I just feel like Hillary Clinton has been through losing to the first black president ever. And the first orange president ever. That's not funny anymore. That whole orange president shit. Does that really cause anyone to chuckle at this point? It's like if Hitler just, oh shit, I wish I knew more World War II history accurately. It's like if Hitler just bombed a city, and then you're like, isn't Hitler's mustache funny? It's like, I don't know if the joke really lands. It's tragedy plus time equals comedy, not our every waking moment is a tragedy. Mentally ill from Amityville, stream, MVP. Can we all just throw down some crazy hearts for mentally ill from Amityville? Hands down, you gotta be the stream MVP, because you're the most vocal, most consistent person that I've had on my streams, period. I'm gonna open up the Track app and see if we can get some stats on who the hell's liking posts and stuff like that. I'm actually going through a flow right now. It's a flow that makes me happy because it seems like worthwhile to me. But I have almost 4,000 followers on Instagram. So what I'm doing is going one by one from the bottom up. I'm still talking like Barack Obama. It's unconscious. Bear with me. Love and hugs to you too as well. Millie O from Amityville. I'm gonna pin that because it looks so pretty. I'm feeling much gooder today, by the way, because I'm starting to make choices that have me in mind instead of choices that have my super ego in mind, if you know what I'm talking about. Fuck, I don't remember what I was talking about. I'm going through Instagram one by one, each of my followers coming from the first people who ever followed me, and I'm just seeing what the fuck they're up to. Are you still on Instagram? Are you ghost following me? Have you forgotten that you're following me? Have I forgotten that you're following me? Retouching base with my actual fan base on pretty much my most poppinest network. So this is like my eyeball that you all got, that you guys are crawling around the surface of. What does that mean? This is one of my chief sensory organs. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Instagram's one of my chief sensory organs. Instagram's one of the... I always have this fucking spit foam from talking so much on camera. I hate it because I'm constantly like just shoveling spit out the corners of my mouth from the that I'm doing. Instagram is like my chief network for connecting with everybody, for putting out new material. This is the place where you would hear about new shit coming out. So this is my garden, you know. This is where I grow my fucking tomatoes that I eat with my goddamn salad with my family on the weekends. So you know I'm gonna put something back into the soil, and me putting back in the soil is going painted ruins up in the motherfucking room. Painted ruins. You painted ruins. You're a motherfucker. Welcome back to the room. It's so good to see you. It's I think it's the last week of the second month, or we're in the third month. I'm gonna call it the last week of the second month just for continuity's sake. Thank you so much for anyone who subscribed over on Patreon. Patreon is about to explode because what I'm working on full-time-ish. No, it's full-time. I guess, hold on, I'm just trying to find my notes. I take little notes and I write them on on index cards, which helps me lose them and forget them, which is ultimately what I want to do with work. Lose it and forget about it. But you'll see that if I am to flip around, I'm strategically flipping around the camera so you don't see the horrible mess that I have everywhere. That's some of it. Even the vacuum cleaner is a mess. Isn't that, like, ironic and poetic? So here's my little thing. This is just like my brain fart so that my brain will shut up. I just write these things down. It's like my brain's like, hey, people really like YouTube covers, so you need to make covers and you need to put them on YouTube like every day. And I'm like, all right. And then the audio from those YouTube covers just gets extracted to SoundCloud, gets shared to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then also posting about working on that. But the thing is, it's going to be one cover on YouTube, and then another one goes on what do you call it? Patreon. So the thing about Patreon is I'm going to be putting out more. Shit, I just showed you guys my messy room. I'm going to be putting out more for free for everybody to consume, but Patreon users will always be getting a little bit more. There'll be those assholes who'll be like, I actually heard him put that song out on his Patreon a year ago, and it was really only because we told him to put it on the album that was on the album. I want that kind of community, man. I want a fight club, you know? I should make it you can't make it like a fight club. How does that work? Don't talk about this? Do not talk about the first rule of my Patreon is you do not talk. But if they don't talk about it, that's really bad for promo. Anyway, let's take a look. Actually, let's take a little song break. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll continue with the news after this and checking in. I'm gonna play as much of. I've been trying to memorize this song. So I'll do my best, okay? Hope you like it. I might have been playing it too much. Alright, cover Wonderwall or Bust. You know, I tried a little bit, and then I was like, this is bad, but I'll remember it, and I'll cover it. Because I'm doing a Pain Runes, I'm doing a cover album, and it is supposed to be those songs that when you hear them, you don't choose to sing along to them. They sing for you, and those are the songs I'm interested in covering. Because if I can do them well enough, it'll be a pretty good album. Did the brightness just change? Fucking white correction on this. Don't worry, mine is messier right now. It's getting better, but I can try. Yay! Oh my God, really? Yeah, really. All right, so here we go. Pardon me if you heard this one already. You probably have. And pardon me if I forget any words, because I'm trying to commit them to memory so I can play it. Psychic spies from China trying to steal your mind's elation. Little girls from Sweden dream of silver screen quotations. And if you want these kind of dreams, it's California vacation. Pretty good. Fuck, I forget what's the next line? Oh yeah, it's the edge of the world and all of Western civilization. The sun may rise in the east, at least it settles in a final location. It's understood that Hollywood sells Californication. I'm doing as well as I can. I don't know if those were the right words. They are serving very well to break the spell of aging. Celebrity skin, is this your chain? Is this the war you're waging? Firstborn in home, hardcore softball. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. I like this first line too. The alliteration in this really gets me. Marry me, girl, be my fairy to the world, be my very own consolation. Yeah, that's just a lot. That's a lot. Marry me, girl, be my fairy to the world, be my that's awesome. Be my fairy. First of all, he said, marry me, girl, which is like patriarchal, right? And like a throwback. It's like, don't marry me, girl. It's like she's not a girl, she's a woman. Be my ferry to the world. Whoa! So much depth and meaning in that one phrase. Just deal with that alone. Alright. Marry me, girl, be my ferry to the world, be my very own consolation. A teenage bird with a baby inside, getting high on information. Buy me a star on the boulevard, it's Californication. Oops. I remember, thank you, Art Price, because you know I can't stop talking. So I remember, I first flew to Hollywood in 2013, right after 2012. I was 27 years old, the age everyone dies when you're really talented. But it was at 27 that I first went to Hollywood, and I was on this TV show, The Linda Perry Project, and one of the things she had us do was busk, which, haha, lucky for me, I had already busked a bunch of times in New York, but she had us busk right on Hollywood Boulevard, you know, with those stars under our feet and all the tourists around. And in the middle of busking on Hollywood Boulevard, you know, and I was like, and Linda had this way of like, she was just trying to like chef Ramsey whip you into performing, right? So I was like at first like kind of sitting down and like singing my songs or whatever, and like, this is crazy, this isn't working, this isn't the environment that I usually busk in. The sound's going everywhere, there's cars and stuff like that, and I'm an indoor kid, or I'm like on the spectrum or whatever, so I really get distracted by ambient noise. So it's crazily throwing me off. And you know, she did that thing she does where she's like, you're not doing good enough and you're a piece of shit. And what is this is a fucking joke or whatever. She didn't say exactly that. She, you know, because she was on TV and shit. I'm sure she would have if she could. But yeah, I started to be more aggressive and get up and sing. And this couple walks by, people are starting to like it and blah blah. And this couple walks by, and the guy proposes to his girlfriend. Hey Stevie 800, hey Nanda 35. This guy proposes to his girlfriend right there in front of me on live TV. I'm gonna get those episodes of Linda Perry Project. I'm gonna download them and put those on fucking Patreon for free. How about I do that? It'll only cost me like 10 or 20 bucks. Where's my pen, damn you? My pen! Gabe, why are you crazy today? Hashtag FOMO? What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm underslept today, but I don't know if you saw my story, I did meditate an hour today, and you know how, no, 45 minutes a day, and I did it with this motherfucker. With this motherfucker right here. Y'all don't even know about this, do you? Do you know about this? This is the Muse headband. This is a 4-channel portable EEG machine that connects to your iPhone or Android smartphone. These 4 EEGs here measure stress and relaxation. This is real science, folks. You can look this up. These exist there. I think the most you can find. Okay, I'm gonna blow up my spot right here, but I just want you guys to know how much I'm into meditation and brainwaves. Never really talked about this. I'm surprised I still even have this. That's a 4-channel EEG. This is how many is this? 1, 2, 3. I think this is 12. This is 12 channels EEG, 12-channel portable EEG machine. Connects to your computer, smartphone. This is called the Emotive Epoch. So this is actually one of the older versions. With these headbands, basically, they can read your brain waves. This is what in the future we'll use to drive our cars with and like control giant mechanized machines. But with these headbands, not with the Muse. The Muse, this one's just for meditation. That heavy duty monster right there is for like, you know, playing World of Warcraft without your hands. I've seen people do that, which is like the freakiest thing to see someone do. Someone's sitting there and they're playing World of Warcraft using minute muscular movements and by manipulating their own emotions. Yeah, I use apps, but if you can get your hands on a Muse headband, I think you'll really, really love that. I would recommend getting one from eBay, since they really go from $100 to $300 on eBay. The Muse store itself will sell you, and I actually think you want to get from the Muse store itself, because I think you're going to get a warranty when you do that, and these things are definitely something that you're going to want a warranty for. Although, like, I drop mine all the fucking time, and even when they break, they still work a little bit, because it's 4 channels of EEG, and you only really need one. So if you break one, the other ones still work for the basic purpose of measuring whether you're stressed or relaxed. eBay is the way to go. It's a Muse headband. There's also different types of these. You could probably get away with getting one for $20 to $30. Not one of these, but there's another one called the NeuroSky. This one, you might have seen it in commercials where the kids have sort of like, it looks like a mouse trap, you know, the game Mousetrap of a board game, but they're actually moving the pieces with their minds. It's like, it's a 1-channel EEG that also measures heart rate, you know, you can like control fans and stuff like that on this little game. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty like flexible, and you know, it's like made to take a licking a little bit more. I don't trash it. So how does it show you exactly? So what I use the most with the Muse, remember when we were playing Californication? That was a good time back then. But anyway, when I use the Muse, what I do is I strap it on like this, and it's sending information back to the phone that says, hey, Gabe is relaxed or Gabe is not relaxed. There's usually like maybe a half a second delay or something like that, so it's not a snap change. But when I'm thinking, basically when there's high beta brainwave activity, it'll play the sound of wind. And when there's low beta brainwave activity, it will play the sound of birds chirping. And so that's your basic biofeedback. I watched a great documentary on YouTube on the concept of biofeedback. Not many people can understand it, but it's basically like, let's say you're lifting a weight, right? And you had like a little indicator on here to tell you like, oh, muscle mass 10%, and then you lifted the weight a little bit and it said muscle mass 10.1%. That would help you. That would help you because now you know where you're going, how much you're doing. Just like how we like what gets measured gets managed is the old phrase. So what you're doing is you're measuring your brain waves, you're measuring how deeply you're meditating so that you can achieve an even deeper meditation. And the crazy thing about it is there's no floor to that. There's no floor to how deep you can go. So you can be nice Sunday evening nap deep, or you can be the Buddhist 12th shit deep. You can be like deep, like I saw my great grandfather's spirit in the depths of my meditation. You can get deep because it's calibrating your base brainwave state, and then you're always going to have brainwave activity because you're alive. So it's just like about lowering and lowering. I first saw brainwave machines being used by Ken Wilber, who's a famous meditation teacher. I don't know if you know Ken Wilber, but he's able to just drop his shit completely out. And that was back when, you know, their brainwave machine, a portable one, would look like this, with like a little toaster. It's like a little toaster with a screen that would have like a little heartbeat monitor on there. And then you just like put the big spider EEG thing on your head and you meditate and try to lower your brainwaves. Anyway, let me read some of these comments because I've been rambling a lot. I gotta eat some corn dogs. I didn't eat that much today. The good old days. I went to Maravilloso Wagner. Let me give a shout out to everybody in the room. While y'all here, many of you, I'm a Pure Godmother in the house. Feminist Sergeant person room today. Penny Ruins, actual unicorn. Thank you for coming through from Unicorn Land. Amanda Grams, Cubana, Americana. Nanda 35, Ananda Sherwood, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming to watch the stream. I don't know. I think it's because Sherwood reminds me of Robin Hood, which reminds me of Brave, which reminds me of Ireland. Unmaking you 18 Pharrell, Steve 800, Stevie Salter. He's the saltiest. I don't know what that means. Ronald Price and S. Jones Boutique by C+I. Thank you so much for coming in the room. Amanda Grams is saying, I've been meditating for 3 years and it's still a struggle to find center and relax. Me too, even with a goddamn machine on my head. So what does that tell you about the nature of the human mind? Someone said to me, they were like, they had insomnia and I'm like, you gotta meditate. And they're like, it's impossible for me to meditate. My mind never shuts up. And I'm like, that is the nature of the mind. You know? Any spiritual teacher worth his salt will tell you that. There's no such thing as shutting up the mind. The thing that the mind does not silence. You know, that's not the nature of the mind. Like, you can stick a lollipop in the mind's mouth, but you can't shut the mind up. You'd explode. You can suppress the mind temporarily, but you cannot silence the mind. You can simply acknowledge the existence of silence and allow the mind to do what the mind does. If you've ever been to a silent retreat or even out in nature for a while, you might notice that your mind goes, oh, what's the cat doing? What's my significant other doing? What's happening at my job? And then as the weekend, you know, maybe you have a long weekend in the woods that goes on, it starts to be like, oh, I'm just in the woods. And then the mind just lets go of that. And that's what meditation becomes. Not grasping onto the little pieces of shit and the little memos that your mind brings you and says, important, okay, important, is this important? It's like, No, okay, no, okay. You know, it's not silencing the mind. It's like, okay, okay. It's like not taking the mind seriously. Anyway, try that. Get some snacks in. I will get some snacks in. I'm gonna eat 2 corn dogs. I think I'm not eating bread anymore because I've been noticing it's making me kind of sick, and I don't like it unless it's very good bread, and very good bread is rare where I am, inexpensive. So I just feel like skip bread. What is bread? Why is it necessary? Just touch the thing that you wanted to put with the bread around. I'm gonna have some bean burger patties, which to me just tastes, the Morningstar bean patties just by themselves just is like a bean cookie thing to me. And what else will I have? Probably some bean salsa, and I got some corn chips and stuff like that. I've got some mac and cheese. It's mac and cheese with for sure cheese. I've also got some vegan mac and cheese, which actually tastes like unholy shit. Like when I made that vegan mac and cheese, you know, the bunny kind, the organic bunny kind, I was like so surprised by how bad it was. I was like, this tastes so bad. I just realized you're the only way I know about meditation and stuff. I don't look anything up because I never think about it. Then you might already be an experienced meditator, Steve 800. Hey, Gnichner Schnierchen! Transcendental meditation saved my life, to be honest. It would. Transcendental meditation is a shit. That's what I first heard about. The purpose isn't to stop thinking, for sure. Ayan Ajamar, I done out. I zone out. That's a good thing to do, though. Shay the Indigo, good to see you. Good evening. Upcycle Santa Fe. Hey, I like to upcycle too. Bean cookie, yes. Bean salsa is so damn good. Walnut cheese all the way. Yeah, I haven't really gone shopping. I think it's the thing of like, I don't want to have to go across town to shop for organic food. Luckily, like, food delivery service within Brooklyn has expanded exponentially, but there's just the obvious thing of it just being slightly more expensive and wasteful to order food to my house rather than just to like get it while I'm out and about. We're all hungry now. What about second breakfast? My aunt is allergic to milk. I'm gonna do that voice. Dear Gabriel, my aunt is allergic to milk and says the same thing about vegan cheese. And no, she's not lactose intolerant. She's actually allergic to milk. Pain of Ruin says, happy, laughy, smiley face. Love you, brah. Love you too. Oh, wow, you're from Brooklyn. I am from Brooklyn. If you're in Brooklyn, if you're in New York, by the way, I'm doing another show. This is going to be, I'm not going to do a show next week. I think next week is going to be an off week, maybe for the next 2 weeks. But I've been having a lot of fun doing these residencies with Pim. I think this is going to be the 4th show I've done with him so far. So that's a month of shows. This is going to be this Wednesday. September 20th at 8 p.m. at Lovecraft in New York. That's 50 Avenue B. I'm just going to type that in for anyone who wants to booty do. The first key of broadcasting is keep making noises. That's the trick. That's how Walter Cronkite did it. That's how Edward R. Murrow did it. And that's how I'm gonna fucking do it. You gotta keep making noises so that people don't realize nothing's happening, man. They don't even know. They're not even gonna suspect. They're gonna be like, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. He's got this planned out. This guy's so cool. They don't even know that the whole time I'm completely distracted typing this thing. 50 Avenue B. They don't even know. They don't even know. Alright, so I just posted that and I'm gonna pin it. I don't know if that has all the information you need. So this Wednesday, the September 20th, at Lovecraft, which is at 50 Avenue B. I didn't put what time it is. That's gonna fucking horrible make it. You just ruined it, Gabe. Because now that we're gonna pin the 8-2. Anyway, hold on. I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah, that's what those sirens are. Aw. Cows. Yeah. Those sirens are the reason why I'm glad I don't live in the city. Guess what? This isn't even the city. This is the part of Brooklyn I'm in is very, very close to Queens. It's on, but not at the. I'm gonna live stream. I didn't last time because I forgot, but I will live stream this show. You know, it's hard to live. I will live stream it, but the way that I want to do it is where I talk to you guys, so it's easier if I have a 40-minute set instead of a 25-minute set. With a 25-minute set, I really want to like play. With a 40-minute set, I'm gonna like play around, goof around. There's more restlessness. There's more restlessness involved. Yeah, see me live, Shay the Indigo. See me live. So Brooklyn, I can see the come Stevie. I'll show you where we are. I'll show you the hood. This is the black part of town. This is the part where people are scared to go, but it's not the black part of town that's dangerous. People don't know the difference. They just see black people and they're like, is this the dangerous part of town? And I'm like, no. It's like, it's near it though. But that's New York. Everywhere is near a dangerous part of town. And if you don't understand that, you're gonna get murdered or robbed, which I've never been. No, I was robbed for like 5 cents when I was 10. But that was the last time I ever let it happen. All right, I'm just enjoying this. So this is the view. This is East New York, Brooklyn. This is by Screen Creek. You might hear like seagull. I'm gonna drop my phone off this fucking balcony being a goddamn asshole. I'm just being white as fuck. I'm like, I've got a selfie stick. Look, this is, what do you call it? Starrett City, so they're on their own power grid. There's like, they have their own, not like their own government or whatever, but it's like all those buildings look the same because they're all owned and operated by the same development company. I live in a co-op that's owned and operated by a certain development company. It has its own security. Over there is some PJs which are owned and operated by a development company called the fucking New York government. And if you look way in the distance there, you can see that's the Freedom Tower. After we had a 9/11, we were like, let's build a Freedom Tower there, because that phrase isn't ironic at all. Let's call it the Freedom Tower, because our sense of irony is also free from understanding. So you can't really see it that well, but when it's like New Year's and the trees are bare, you'd see right there to Times Square. I mean, the what do you call it? Like the Chrysler Building and the Eiffel Tower, the New York Eiffel Tower, what the fuck ever it's called, the New York the Empire State Building, the New York Eiffel Tower building, the one that's important like that. What else did I tell you? It's far. It's far for, obviously this is a far distance. That's the city there. Far distance, but by train, about an hour, 45 minutes, depending. Alright, let me read some of these comments. I really like hearing myself talk. That's my town. What's your town? I've only been to Manhattan. It's 77% African American, but not much crime. That's so funny. That should be like the state. That should be like how they sell the town. Like there's all these black people, but there's not that much crime. You in the hood for reals, baby hellhound. What up? LOL. So Shade the Indigo. You in Flatbush? You in a small town in Louisiana? That's nice. I might visit Louisiana. I was kind of skeptical about some of the southern states just because I spent the entire summer arguing with racists. So when this tour company was like, do you want to go, they literally put on the motherfucking tour itinerary, they put Charlottesville, Virginia, and I was like, you're trying to have me go to Charlottesville right now and go play Philando Castile and like what, like it's gonna be a hit? I don't know. Yeah, S. Jones Boutique, come out and see me. Come out and see me. Okay. September 20th. That's Wednesday. September 20th. Hey, I'm typing it again for some reason. September 20th. Wednesday. Lovecraft. I really want people to come out to the show. You know why? Gabe, do you want people to come out to the show to increase your own sense of self-importance? Look how many people came out for me. That means I'm relevant. My life is real. I'm not just a fucking piece of mold come to life like Pinocchio and wearing a suit. I'm a real person, and my dreams and goals are real. No, that's not why. It's because the more people that come out to the show, the more I feel like the show is important. It's an old saying that for great news, great work requires great audiences, and that means audiences that are like open and smart and refined, and also audiences that are not just two people who are gonna feel uncomfortable with just me singing to them. So come out to fucking Lovecraft. I'm going to pound, let me not use pornographic euphemisms to describe what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put everything I'm thinking is a great. Anyway, I'm gonna put all of myself in Wednesday's show, and I really want you to be there so you can see how deep it all is. I'm sorry, that's gross. That's gross. We've had enough of that. We have that in the White House right now. We've got a rapist in the White House. He's a rapist. He rapes women. He's a rapist. Oh, that would be the best episode of Seinfeld. She sleeps on the couch. He's a coucher. He rapes women. He's a rapist. Anyway, Wednesday, September, I'm typing this thing. He's not just a clown. Man, George Bush was a clown. George Bush was a clown. This man is something quite different than that. Quite different than something that's a clown. I always say Trump is when you move out of your apartment and you look behind the fridge and it's all gross behind there. That's what Trump is. He's all the collective neglect of our fucking society personified. You know? He's what happens when you don't wash your ass. That's what Trump is. Washing your ass means engaging actively in a fair democracy where people are equal. So Wednesday, September 20th, 8 p.m. at Lovecraft, 50 Havanobia in New York. I'm still typing this out. It looks beautiful now when you type things out correctly. There we go. I'm going to pin that. So if you're around, please come to that show. I'll be playing some songs like this one. Philando Castile was flashed and pulled over to the side of the road in St. Paul, Minnesota. He followed the rules and did what cops told him. Then Philando Castile was unjustly murdered. Philando Castile had a babe of just 4 years. He and a mother were soon to be married, and he told the officer of his registered weapon, and the cop drew quick and put 7 bullets in him. What can we do right? In a world that's straight, male, and white. And even if you do everything right, you might still end up like Philando. Philando's daughter was in the backseat when they shot him, and after he was dead, the other officer came and got her and put her in the backseat and put the mother in handcuffs while Officer Yanez radioed in for backup. Philando Castile was bleeding and dying in the backseat of a squad car. His family was crying. Police arriving on the scene Rushed to comfort the officer, ignored the child and the mother. They didn't take the handcuffs off of her, they ignored the car and the bleeding man in it. They neglected to check Philando's pulse for several minutes. What can we do right? In a world that's straight, male, and white. And even if you do everything right, you might still end up like Philando. Might still end up like Philando. You might still end up like Philando. Yeah, still hurts. It still hurts, and I understand. I absolutely understand. I think we need to all understand each other on that. I think what's so fucked up to me, and I started to see and understand when white people were saying it too, is like at this time where we have like a rapist, racist, like fucking stand-up comedian as president, we're like still like infighting amongst each other like crazily, to the point where it's like all black people feel Philando Castile the same, but even in the black community we're like against each other for like different issues. Like some people were like Pan-African separatists, black Israelites, and some people are like natural hair enthusiasts, and so I really like, if you haven't seen the series, I really like Dear White People as a series, because they focus, even though the title is a misnomer, because the show isn't for white people, it's really about black people for black people, because it goes into the nature of different types of black people, which doesn't exist in white television. In white television, there's really just one or two types of black people, which is either the black person you're supposed to be afraid of, or the black person that you don't have to be afraid of. Anyway, thank you so much, R. Price, for saying that's a powerful song. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to do less of the black community division. It's just hard, man, because, like, I'm my own fucking community, and, R. Price, you're your own fucking community. Shay, you're your own fucking community. But through our differences as individuals, we have to acknowledge what unites us, and also acknowledge the fact that we really are different, because that is exactly what's happening to us. Like, we are different than white, but it's like we're not being acknowledged as really different. It's like you're not. There's so many times I've been told that you're not that type of black person, basically, because black is like synonymous with like fear or something like that. And so if people aren't afraid of me, they stop seeing me as black. So like this summer was kind of fun, because like I made a whole bunch of white people afraid, and that was like that's a really empowering experience, I think, as like, I've only ever weighed at most 170 pounds, even with going to the gym like 5 days a week and pounding protein shakes. Like, I'm not a buff dude. So to really like see white people like uncomfortable with what I'm saying en masse was like a really empowering feeling. And then it was white people suck and different things like that about white supremacy and white privilege. Then that trans model that was representing L'Oreal said the same shit, and she got fired. And the ESPN anchor said that Trump is a white supremacist, and it's just people start saying obvious stuff. Lord was saying, sorry, so sorry, but white people cause racism, sorry, and everyone got mad at her. And it's like, okay, so I'm in good company, because the people that I'm speaking in kind with are fucking transgressive people by nature. I'm not so much focusing on Lord in that respect. I'm more focusing on the trans model for L'Oreal, which L'Oreal is definitely a racist company. The Emmys did an incredible thing last night to call him out as a white supremacist. Really? I'm gonna check that out. Thank you for thank you, Painted Ruins. Another 35. Thank you for that. I'm just listening at my desk at work. Wish I'd come to your show. My birthday. You're in Oregon too. Oh, Painted Ruins is also in Oregon. Okay, so soon I'm gonna start the thing. So there is a West Coast tour brewing. It's not booked yet. It's not quite in the works. I would expect more of a pop-in than anything, rather than a tour. Like, for instance, now that two of you are in Oregon, it makes sense for me to go to Oregon and just like chill out and have a show for you two. Haven't heard the show? Watch it in Oregon. I would love to watch it. And you should write about the divide that's true south of Eugene. Last month I was reading a story my teacher gave us, and it said the N-word a lot, and was just like, wow, I'm glad I don't have to read this out loud. You should say nigger out loud if you can, by yourself. Just so you can hear it and hear the weight of it, and like, especially if you're white, like, be in your house and go like, if no one can hear you and you're sure no one can hear you but the government, just be like, nigger, and just like feel that thing, because some people really do say that there's a genetic thing that has to do with the racism that has been for a long time, and it like gets encoded in your DNA as like part of like a survival instinct. Like, it's maybe part of white people's genetic survival to oppress people of color, because of just that has been the pattern of society so long, the same way as like how like ants might have to get accustomed to drinking Coca-Cola as opposed to, you know, fruit sugar, you know, and they just adapt to that. Anyway, that's not the same. I know that's not the same. Oh my god, hi neighbor, da, 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 da. Oh, you guys are blowing up my shit. I'm having trouble seeing all your posts. Hey Casey Bloss, if you're in the room, Gabe's bringing people together. Yes, I am. 10 minutes to 6 p.m. Thank you, S. Jones for keeping the time. I'm Emily in from Amityville. I don't know what all your emojis mean, but I do know that it's funny to eye roll at a sunflower. It's so funny. Dave's Killer Bread is the bomb. I found one bag near me, and it's just, there's never any more Dave's Killer Bread around here. It pissed me off. Generational trauma. I don't know if people on the internet say that N-word, people get super offended, so I'm not sure about that. Honestly, N-word sounds disgusting to me. I don't know why. It should, yeah. If you're liberal, you're definitely trained to have disgust for the N-word, as it were. But I think in certain respects, people that are exposed to more blatant forms of racism are more knowledgeable about the obviousness of how pervasive racism is. And by that I mean, if you grew up in a house where everybody's calling each other nigger all the time, and not that that's the premium, but I just think that I prefer a person who's been around racism rather than liberal racism, because liberal racism is the kind that makes you want to like grind your teeth, because it's someone who doesn't think they're racist that is saying and experiencing and perpetuating racism. And guess what, sweetheart? We're all perpetuating racism and sexism and homophobia and transphobia and cis fucking gendered goddamn agendas. Cisgendered agendas. Gotta write that down. Jesus. Come on. That's I mean, right there, that's going to the Grammys, kids. Yeah, I got my pen out to write on my iPad. Is this how it works? Alright, no, that's not even really a very good line, but I'm gonna write it down anyway, just to feel self-important. Cisgendered agendas. Ooh, yeah. I put fisgender. You're cisgender? Well, I'm fisgender. You know what makes me uncomfortable? When, like, old white comedians make jokes or even talk about, like, trans issues or anything. Because it's like, sometimes they'll talk from, like, a place of being such an outsider that it'll be, like, naive in a cute way, but, like, it's also like you realize that baby has a gun. You know, it's like, you're showing how naive, like, white men are, but, like, the watch on your wrist makes me scared of you, like, you have too much money. I've been around liberal racism, but not much real racism. I've been around... Alright. I love white people prefer than the white person saying the N-word, and it's like, who the fuck asked you? Kansas City? Who in Kansas City? It makes me laugh when cis people get mad at being told factually they're cis. It's a scientific term. Like, it makes me mad when, like, Hold on. I gotta define heteronormative. Because sometimes I don't know the word. Oh shit, now it's saying that. Shit. Now it's saying shit over and over. Define heteronormative.
Heteronormative means denoting or relating to a worldview that promotes heterosexuality as the normal or preferred sexual orientation.
Okay, so heteronormative isn't what I mean, but I guess I mean like fucking squares, man. I hate when fucking squares like don't like, because that's what it ultimately is. It's like, I have a job, and I pay my taxes on time, and I don't think you look as though this rug hasn't been changed in a while. Actually, I'm a little bit like that. I'm a little erudite fuck. Well, I'm not saying like live like a fucking pig skis ball, but I'm saying like there's definitely like a standard way of living that involves being like straight, white, thinking, capitalist and stuff like that. And when people get reminded that they are that and they of that, they hate it. It's like, you know, I'm so sorry, Britney, bitch. What's a good name for a white girl? Sarah? No. Sarah's a good white girl name. Sarah's a great white girl name. Megan is a great white girl name. Bethany. All right. Bethany, I'm so sorry that your parents have lots of money and that they raised you in a bubble and you've never seen a black person except on TV and it was Will Smith, and because you didn't hate Will Smith you thought that you weren't racist and you thought that your parents weren't racist, but that is the definition of racism. You live in a white fucking ivory tower your entire life, and your entire family does, and everyone you know lives in that white tower. So how would you not be racist? How? You're from China. You speak Chinese, okay? How are you denying speaking Chinese if you're from China and you speak Chinese to everybody? Everybody in China speaks Chinese. How are you going to be a Chinese person telling me you don't speak Chinese? That's what I'm saying about the racism thing. You breed racism. The same way that a true feminist, what am I talking about, true feminist? That's not for me to decide. But I'm saying, like, in terms of the feminist issue of, like, men being sexist, all men being trash, all men being rapists, like, yeah, you are a fucking, I'm a card-carrying member of a sexist, misogynistic society. So those things have to be considered. This idea of like, I'm no rapist, I'm no racist, I'm not a saint, but I'm no bad thing. It's like you're implying sainthood through your fucking angelic bullshit that you're putting on. We're all bad people. This is why I said the thing about Trump, and like, I think saying that he's a clown is not enough. He is our unwashed balls. Trump crawled out of our landfills. The landfills that we should have stopped filling a long time ago. The landfills that are poisoning the environment and poisoning us, that we should have gotten rid of a long time. The radioactive waste that we buried and forgot to take care of. The fucking arms that we dealt in the Middle East. Trump is all the remainder of those equations, all the leftover those equations, the racism, the worldwide homophobia and misogyny. Trump is the antithesis of that. Not the antithesis, he is the epoch of that. He's a representation of that. Trump has come into power now to show us that we're not okay. We're not okay. We aren't the special people who are like, enlightened and, oh no, how could it be possible that this type of president makes it into the office when I know so many just beautiful people who are just like so enlightened and they're just so vegan and they're just so liberal and they watch every daily. I watch every daily show and I don't believe that a president like that could be president of my time. It's, you know what it is? It's all those racists in the South. That's what it is. That's what's put Trump in power. All those racists in the South. All those racists who can't use the internet, who think coal mining is a viable career in the 21st century. All those people, they're the problem. Really? I'm doing the Willy Wonka thing. Tell me more about all those racists out there. It's us. We're the problem. It's our shopping choices. It's our need and want for more. It's our lifestyle obsessions. Read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. In fact, if you're smart enough, don't even read it. Skim that shit. It's exactly our lives. They fucking smoke in it. They fucking do everything that we do. Since actually ancient fucking Mesopotamia, they've been ancient Mesopotamia. What's it called? Upanishads? What's that fucking book? The Mahabharata. The Mahabharata talks about the time period that we live in. Sorry, the stream is over. I forgot to tell you that. The countdown started. 5 seconds left. Bye, everybody. I love it. Keep tuning in.